Welcome back, Everyday Business Leaders. I'm Melanie Ake, your host for today's show, coming to you from JP the Geek Studio right here in Greenwood. I am thrilled to have you with us today. We have Mr. Sam Wright Jr. You may have met him because I was doing a little production for their Lead with Love. Lead with Love that they did just recently. So I brought him in the studio because you really need to know what he's doing all around Indianapolis. So this program is about connecting and celebrating remarkable business leaders from our very own community. So just wait, get your notebooks out because you're going to really want to lean in and understand what's happening here. Remember, subscribe to our channel and turn your notifications on so you never miss an episode. Are you ready? Let's meet Mr. Sam Wright Jr. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Mel. Thank you for having me.
I love that you're here. It's been way too long.
It has. Thank you for having me. Thank you to Joe Ake, and also thank you to my lady, Shelly, for supporting me today.
Oh, this is so fun. So let me get this right. Lead with Love. That was your conference that you just did.
Yes, it was.
I was so
thank you for
proud
being
of
there.
you. I was so proud of
you.
you. You know, we were just talking about in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
I had my very first conference, and I got on stage and said, you guys don't have any idea, but last night I won the bid, the domain, everydayleaders.com.
Amen.
Right? That was a God thing. It had happened 24 hours before the event.
Wow.
And that was a big deal in my heart. And I could see the vision of the things that I wanted to create. You were sitting in the front row.
Yes. Life-changing event. You just have to pay attention to the signs from God, whatever you believe in spiritually. You just got to pay attention. And at that point in my life, I was at a crossroads, been successful at many different careers, many different businesses. And at that point, I just felt like I was bumping my head. And even though I was on the right path, there was something missing in my life. And so I tell the story all the time. The word I chose for that year was intentional. And watching my cousin, my mentor, Jamal Sylvester, I reached out to him a month prior to the conference and said, hey, cuz I see you making these moves. I see you doing big things. Take me with you. And that Friday night, or maybe it was that Thursday, he reached out to me and said, hey, I'm going to a conference tomorrow. That Friday night, he said, I'm going to a conference tomorrow. I've hooked up with this unbelievable couple. I got an extra ticket for you. I said, okay, got you. I'll be there. And when I got off the phone, I thought of a million different reasons not to go. But I said, hey, this is what I asked for. And I paid attention to that sign. And so to fast forward, meeting you, meeting Joe, sit in the front row. And then when you gave out the book that you have right there in front of you, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell, the very first chapter was the law of intentionality. It was divine. It was divinely inspired. So, again, thank you for being you. Thank you for answering the call of being you, and thank you for being an everyday leader.
Aw, well, chapter 1, intentionality. That's right. But here's what you did next, right? You didn't just show up to the conference or say, "Okay, Jamal, I'll go with you." You leaned in. You actually won the book because I had drew tickets.
Right.
You and Jamal and Ryan also won. But you guys said this: we're committed to personal growth.
Yes.
1 year, every single Sunday night, we started that journey.
Yes.
Right? So March 2nd was the conference. A couple of weeks later, we started every single Sunday night, and we went through this book and a couple of more, Developing the Leader Within You.
Yes.
Everyone Communicates, Few Connect.
Yes.
Like all of John's books that I was learning, like these were improving my life. And I learned so much from you all because of what you were going through. And I was like, hey, I understand. I was right there just a few months earlier.
Right.
I got it. Right? So when the student is ready, the teacher appeared for me when John showed up. So I'm just trying to pass it on. I'm watching all of you pass this on now and like being a part of your life and helping us just develop community. That is awesome.
It is. And to, like I said, to be successful in so many different areas, but what I figured out was where I was going wrong is I never had a plan for myself. You know, you give me the high paying job. I'm working 40 to 60 hours like it was nothing. I'm running their play. I'm running their plan. But until I actually developed a plan for myself, my own personal development, I was going to continue to struggle. So, yeah, personal development was the key.
And that was my story a year and a half before that. And that's really why the whole conference started.
Yes.
So here's what's so cool about this. It doesn't matter where you are.
Say it again, man. Say it again.
It doesn't matter where you are. It's if you start, right? John always says, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great or to become something that you see. And so many people get hung up on this action step of like, well, if I don't do it this way exactly, then I shouldn't be on social media. I shouldn't be writing blogs. I should not be, right? It's this comparison gap. Intentionality, it's the gaps, chapter 1.
From the very beginning. Gotta be intentional. That's it.
And so you started showing up. Instagram, all the social media of desire is everything.
Yes.
That was your brand. And I was like, that's kind of scary, Sam. Die. Like, I get it. It's the cross. I understand. But it was kind of like, whoa, in your face.
Yeah. So let me explain.
But you were so passionate, right? Like desire. It's desire.
It's desire.
Yes.
It is. So again, prior to that, just at home drawing one day, and the word "die" just kept hitting my die. Why die? Why die? And so I just drew it out, DIE, and then I said, okay. Cross, draw the cross, desires everything. That was my cross. Die, desires everything. But why die? Still, why die? Because we don't often realize that we have to make sacrifices daily, right? So you gotta die to the things that are holding you back. What is keeping you from achieving that ultimate desire? For me, it's impact and add value. I love helping people. It's my passion. I love and you can call it it's something about someone saying thank you for changing my life. It's just something about it. It's just so overpowering. It's something about gratitude. Someone say, hey, man, I remember what you did for me. It's something about that just drives me, right? So, again, to be able to come up with something that it can impact a generation, desires everything. And it's showing up in the life of my children. Once my children get it, people can say, okay, I can see it not only in you, but I can see it in your fruit. Because it's all about your fruit. It's about the people who can grow from the things that you have done. So, like I said, desires everything. Die. What do you have to die to on a daily basis in order for you to achieve your ultimate desire?
You have to give up. John says you have to give up to grow up.
Come on now. Preach, Mel.
Let's go. There are so many of these.
Yes.
And the thing that I have kind of adopted in our morning devotional is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it is so impactful. And I've looked at my life and said, yeah, but I've really procrastinated on some projects.
Yeah, we do.
And so, because I do that a lot.
Same here.
But yet it doesn't make me a failure in everything. It's just give that up, right? Give that procrastination up.
Yes.
Die in that space so that you can become better. And if you don't do that, that's a tough lesson, though.
Yes, it is.
So tell me about what has held you back. What's going on with you when you realized I need growth? Where were you? What were you so stuck in?
It's procrastination, but I think Eric Thomas said it best. There's no such thing as procrastination. Either you want it or you don't. You either want it or you don't. And again, we all, it's the phrase, life be lifing, right? So we all are going through something. So it's a thing I call the noun inventory. It's person, places, and things. Who are you connected to? Where are you going? What are you feeding yourself? What are you doing on a daily basis? And when you can start putting those things in check, then you can measure your growth. You can stop and reflect and let growth catch up when you start to take an inventory of your life. Am I surrounded by Melanie Ake or Joe Ake? Am I hanging out with the Jamal Sylvester? Am I going to the places where growth is happening? And if you're not, then the evidence will show why you're not growing.
That's so hard though when you start. Right. So think 5 years ago.
Yes.
When we had just met and you were like, man, I'm so excited about this.
Yes.
And my journey, I was like accelerating because I thought, okay, I'm taking some action steps, but I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Correct.
I just knew I wanted to grow. And then people kept saying yes. because I kept saying, I need you to come with me.
Yes.
Like, come on, keep motivating me, right? So sometimes it's that one action that you don't even know that's happening yet.
Correct.
So when you started to really grow, and I know you were doing a lot of different things, what would you say was the first thing that changed that was the hardest?
Boy, that's a good question. The first thing I changed that was the hardest, I think it was just a daily submission. You know, you got to realize that on a daily basis, we all get a choice. We all make a decision. What do you really, truly desire that day? What is your why? And I think for me, it was just a daily submission, reading, watching the right things on YouTube, because I'm a YouTube fiend, right? So I got to sprinkle in my Jim Rohn and with my rap battles, you know, it's because you can't just overkill. Because then you'll run dry. So I still mix it in, but like I said, it's just certain things you have to submit to daily if you really want to impact lives.
Well, and a lot of people on social media, right? So let's speak to them today.
Okay.
Because people on social media will say, "Oh, but I get all this blah 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 blah." I'm like, I don't see that. I don't see that because it doesn't come up on my feed because I'm not feeding on it.
I like that.
Right? And so these reels, I'm like, make it really about you. Make those reels do those reels, speak into the things that you believe in.
Yes.
Instead of just accepting to absorb all this stuff. And I think that's really the whole issue about people saying social media has impacted them in a negative way. You know, there's a little hide button.
It is. It is.
There's I don't want to see this stuff. But those analytics are important because it feeds your mind.
You're right.
Every day. And
I think Jim Rohn says it best. You can't outperform your self-identity. So if you really don't know who you are, how do you change? You know, how do you grow if you really don't know where you're coming from? So like I said, in order to change your self-identity, you got to change your mindset. Period. The way you think. It starts with everything. The way you think. So, yeah.
So when you get up in the morning, I want to take through your daily routine.
Okay.
Right? So when you get up, just walk us through what that looks like for Sam.
Well, the first thing is always gym. And I know that's kind of backwards. I know a lot of people are like, no, I got to read, I got to do this. The gym is my thing. That's where my mind gets to going. That's where my heart gets to pumping. After that, it's what am I feeding my mind? Right now, we're doing a daily devotional by a young lady named Dr. Donna, where she came out with a book called The Thought Minder. So every day she gives you something that you can read, and it will help gear your day. And then after that, it's okay. What's next? What's the next most important thing? It's business. You know, what is bringing in the income so that you can continue to thrive and impact lives. So that's a simple way of looking at it. And then after that, if I'm not working out in the morning with my son or my children, it's checking in with them, checking in with my lovely lady Shelly, and then who have I not talked to? Who do I need to talk to? So that's a daily routine for me. Gym, feed my mind, and then checking on the people that matter most.
And the rest of your day just gets fed, right?
It just gets fed, yes.
When you do those things first, you put those right things in place, everything else falls into place.
It does.
It really does.
Yes.
And people have a hard time saying, I can't give that up, or I don't know, right? I'm not sure what'll happen if I do that. And it goes back to intention, right?
And a lot of people need coaching. You know, a lot of people need assistance. A lot of people can't do it on their own. And you have to invest in yourself. You know, I paid for a coach last year, and it was one of the best decisions I made for my life. I'm still paying for it, but it's so rewarding. It's going to come back tenfold.
It will.
So you got to invest in yourself.
It is. Investment, right? I think why this aligns so much, and when I was going through a career change, and I thought that was the first time that I recognized, you know, I'm letting other people's values define my ability.
Yes.
And when I realized that just wasn't the case, I didn't need to do that. Everything started to change. So when you start to change, and I know your son is awesome.
Thank you.
Right? Oh my goodness. I got to see him at the conference. Hadn't seen him in a long time. But just seeing your kids now be impacted by the things that you're doing.
Yes.
Talk to me about how that feels as a parent.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable, because all you want is for your kids to be the best version of them, right? All you want is for them to get it. And to have 3 children, 24, 20, and 12, and for all 3 of them to get it, you can't pay for that. but it's the time that we invested as parents. It's the people that we put them around, and it's the things that we show. We gave them a standard, a foundation, and we set expectations for them. And they are killing the expectations. My daughter will be getting her master's along with her fiance in the next couple months, and then they'll get married a couple months after that. Again, my son that just missing to sign is 20. He helps run the business, the Wright Impact Group LLC. We have a podcast, Desires Everything podcast. We have a clothing brand, Die Fam. We both do personal development, speaking, and coaching. And then the 12-year-old Levi, he's coming right along behind us now because he's still young. He doesn't get it all the way, but he knows. He knows right from wrong. He knows what success looks like at an early age. It's just when will that switch flip for him. So it's an unbelievable feeling to have 3 successful children who are all impacting the world, and all we've ever heard was how great of children we've raised. So you just can't put it in words.
Well, let's talk about your Lead with Love conference.
Okay, let's talk.
Hi, this is Melanie Ake. When you visit everydayleaders.com, you'll find valuable resources to become a better leader in your life. Women's leadership programs, including Top Floor Women, our monthly networking events, corporate workshops, and strategic business coaching services. Discover classes and products to develop yourself, including our morning leadership devotionals. Don't forget, order one of my inspirational books, sign up for classes, or pick up some gear in the Leader Store. Listen to the Everyday Business Leaders podcast, apply to be a guest in our studio, or even sponsor your own commercial advertisement. Contact us today at everydayleaders.com. It's so perfect because you decided to bring a panel of people together and really talk about community and connection and conversations.
Yes.
Really getting parents and kids to understand each other. So how did you come up with this? And then how did you pick, I know you had really special people on that panel. So talk to me about just kind of how you decided to launch this event.
Gotcha.
It was really successful.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It started off from just my desire to help parents. With, like I said, being a successful parent, having successful children, I really feel like it starts at home, and a lot of people don't have the resources or they're not open to the help, right? So funny thing is, I got the phrase from a comedian that I watch on YouTube named Kenny Edwin. He's always joking in his relationships, talking about we lead with love in his family. And so that's a joke that me and Shelly have. I used to use with her. And as I'm thinking, I'm like, I really want to do something for parents. People have always told me, you should do a father's event, you should do a parents event. And so as I'm going through the thing, I'm like, lead with love. Because that's what it's all about. Leading with love. How do you lead with love? And so the panelists that I picked were all people that in some form or fashion in the recent years had some kind of impact on my life as well. So you go from Jamal from back home, Marcus Clayton, who's been in academics for over 20 plus years, Kay Farlow, who introduced me to Primerica, who's been a childhood friend, Frances Gillard, who's a friend, a sister to Shelly, a business partner of ours. Who else? We got Shamika, who is actually on our podcast with Jason, who I seen her at work. I thought that was a great person to have on. Damon, being a young father of 5 kids and being successful. Like, how do you not pick him? And who am I missing? Dee Harris. I had just met Dee a month before that, but her name had been ringing in my ear for some time. So just another person. I want to say I'm missing one more person. Was that 8 or 7? I'm trying to go through the order. I got Dee, Damon, Shamika. I feel like I'm missing my Marcus, Kay, Francis, Jamal, and my coach, my senior vice president, Andre Hogue.
Oh, yes.
Andre has been in my life for about 7 years now, at least. And when I tell you someone who's just been a father figure, a big brother, a financial mentor, someone who just will not allow me to fail. So again, 8 people. And then, like I said, when we connected with you, why not have Melanie Ake come out and do the interview? Sorry we got to you too late, Joe. Joe didn't get to make it, but like I said, it was divinely inspired.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. And then the lovely Shelly put it together for us. Had our kids there working. Her daughter Jashelle, Jason, and Levi were both there to help. I mean, it was just only thing I was missing was my daughter because she was out of town with her fiance, support him as she should be. So yeah.
But okay, so John says, know the way, go the way, show the way.
Show the way.
And you did.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
It's coming from a really divine purpose of our mentor. And I think when people say, well, John Maxwell, like, who is he? I come out into the community and a lot of people will say, I don't even know who John Maxwell is.
Because I didn't. I heard the name, but I just didn't know who he was. Changed my life.
And then he changed your life. Because this book is written so simple.
Yes.
Like a third grader could understand.
Yes. I used to have Levi read it to me.
Yeah. It is but it is about values and principles. And like you said, intentionality. And I love this because everything that you do now, I just wrote a blog for our local paper with Aspire. And
congratulations. You do so much.
Well, and but I'm talking about his new book is High Road Leadership.
Okay.
And so it's principles. Again, John's almost written 100 books now, or maybe over 100. But all of the books, if you pick them up, any of them, they say the same thing.
Yeah.
They all say the same thing.
Yes.
It's just what you need, right? What you need in your heart to start leading your own life.
Correct.
Once you lead your own life, everything starts to change.
That's so simple.
It is so simple.
So simple.
So tell me what's on the horizon for you, because I know you're doing a ton of stuff.
Yes. So, again, I'm in the vice president training program with Primerica Financial Services.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we had a great couple of teammates that are booming right now. And by the end of this year, I'll be accepting my vice presidency. I have my financial investment licenses. So that just be something phenomenal that I can do for people. Make sure that they have an understanding of what they need to do to make sure that when they're ready at 65, ready to retire, if not sooner, they have enough money set aside to retire and stay retired. Again, I've also joined forces with a good friend of mine, Montime Butler and Dr. Billy Royal. They have a company called Healthy Family Advocates. So I do behavioral specialists and mentoring for at-risk youth through the DCS. And then our company with me and Jason and Nike and Levi. So need to do another conference, Lead with Love Part 2. Yes. I know me and you talked about doing something, a speakers competition or something along those lines. So those are the two things I'm looking forward to right now, is doing those two events, and then also gaining my vice presidency with Primerica.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
So in 5-10 years, what do you see?
Oh, my Lord. First of all, I see Wright Impact as being a global brand, whether it's through the coaching, whether it's through podcasting. Like I said, I can't slow my son down. So once that 12-year-old gets it, I can just imagine them two guys traveling. My daughter is also in the field of psychology, sociology, one of those things. I can't keep up. So once she gets her master's, we'll figure out some kind of way to bring what she does into the company. So again, Wright Impact Group being a global brand. Continuing to coach, continuing to share the good news. I think what people don't get is you have to work harder on yourself than you do on your job, no matter what that job is. Work harder on yourself, you'll be successful, and you'll be able to impact and add value to other people.
And it doesn't matter what title you have.
Doesn't.
Right. We really need to talk about that, because there are so many people, and I've had so many people on this show in the last 5-6 years now, and they always talk about positional leadership versus your heart, right? Head versus heart. And so for kids today, there's a lot of conversation about millennials and Gen Zs, and they still want to go for the title, or they want to get a degree, or they're working multiple jobs. And, us old folk say, how do you have 3 jobs with all VP titles? Because they have all the energy to do it.
Right.
But the other thing is, people are doing things differently today. So even if they have all these positions and it makes them feel worthy, and Jamie Kern Lima has a great book on this right now called Worthy. Okay. But it is about belief. And so even if you've been trained like, okay, we're going to go make $1 million before we're 30 years old, that's great. But if you don't do it with your heart, if you haven't done it for the personal development side, people don't know that, though. It took us a while, right? It took us a while. So what do you recommend for somebody to do? I mean, I know it's like put the right people. How do you know what the right people are? John Maxwell, he didn't until he was later in life found John Wooden. But it was a process of, he was a minister. He was trained by a minister. Like, he had a great mentor in his dad. He was unbelievable. And that's why he's been able to be so successful. What somebody at 10 and 12 years old, like, how did they find the right people and have those experiences younger so that they can have more impact, right? that's what I always say. Like, it's got to be all heart.
Yes.
The head will follow.
Mm-hmm. And it's leading with love. What do you love to do that helps other people? When you're teaching about passion and purpose, I like to tell people, passion is what you love to do. Purpose is what other people love about you.
Say that again.
Passion is what you love to do. Purpose is what other people love about you. So if you're living a purposeful life, it'll impact other people. So your passion will light you up. Your purpose lights up other people. You know, so what are you passionate about? And try to discover your purpose at a young age. Because your purpose isn't lost. You just haven't discovered it yet. You know, so it starts with your passion. What do you love to do? And what do other people love about you? So
put your phones down, right? Stop scrolling.
Yeah.
I'm bad. I'm bad.
I think we all
I'm bad.
I think we all
I yell at everybody, put your phone down, then I get mine out. But that's not where you find what you love.
Correct.
Right? It's communicating, it's connecting, it's networking. It for introverts, and I'm an introvert, believe it or not.
Okay.
But putting yourself in places that you can get comfortable being a little uncomfortable.
Come on.
And then saying, like I discovered, hey, I went to school for journalism. I love doing this kind of stuff. It doesn't put me in a crowd, but I get to have that individualized attention, right? So I knew, like, that's what I really wanted to do and learn about Sam, learn about people. So now doing it over and over and over and over, figuring out, hey, I really want to add value to people this way.
Yes.
That took a long time, right? It took a long time. But now you're doing things like this.
Yes.
And so growing into the next level is like, what does that look like? I think people, if they don't experience the first part, they're never going to get it, right?
You're right.
And they may waste their whole lives thinking, I wish I would have. And so
and you have to be open to new things. Again,
and failure.
And failure.
Right? So failure, talk to me about failure.
It's a great thing because it's something that you can learn from. Like, you can't learn if you do everything right. You have to fail.
Mr. Wright.
my joke is I've been right every day of my life. So, but yeah, I mean, you have to fail, but it's not the end. The failure, just learn from it. It's a lesson. They talk about taking L's. I don't take losses. I take lessons. So every time I failed, as many times I failed, I've learned from it. So that's what makes me successful. I learn from my failures. I learn from my losses.
Amen.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson.
All right, so I have a game.
Okay, let's play.
In the middle of the table,
there
are cards. These are called food for thought cards.
Wow. Okay.
On the top, I've shuffled them.
Okay.
I don't know what your card is, but if you would pull the first top one and then just read it, and it's just a philosophy thought from Sam Wright Jr. today.
Right. You ready?
Yes.
If you were completely blind but could somehow see just for 1 hour each month, how would you most often spend that time? Wow.
Ooh, that's a good one for you.
Wow. If you were completely blind but could somehow see for just 1 hour each month, how would you most often spend that time? I would spend it with those who most impact my life, because I believe it's beauty in that. It's beauty in seeing the ones who have changed you, who have helped you, who have held you accountable, those who have showed gratitude to you and you're grateful for. I mean, I would think of no other way. Someone else might say they spend it at the beach, Shelley. But yeah, I would have to spend it with those who have most impacted my life and those who I hold dearest to me, because, like I said, to see them, that's beauty. That's beauty.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Thank you. That was tough.
That's a great card.
Yes,
for
it
you.
is. That is, because that's something you never really focus on, it being blind. It's funny because we were watching something yesterday. A pastor butchered a scripture about being blind. So it's funny that came up.
That's awesome.
You gonna read one?
Yeah. Sure, I'll read one. Here you go.
Don't make me play
Nobody's
alone.
Made me do this before. Okay.
Yes, there you go.
All right. Mine says, it doesn't matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. That's from Confucius.
Okay.
But it says, when you woke up this morning, what did you look forward to doing the most today?
Awesome.
I'm doing it.
That's it.
I am doing it.
Isn't that
this
it?
is what I love. And I knew you were coming, and I was so excited because how many times have I prodded and said, come on now, Sam, come
You
on.
have. And you just don't realize the opportunities that are in front of you sometimes. So when you say it, I'm like, oh, she's just saying it. But I know how genuine you are, and it just didn't click until you text me again, like, you haven't signed up yet. And I'm like, oh, she's serious. Like, this is real. But like I said, you just don't realize the opportunities. You really don't. Mm-hmm. Like, 'cause you mean so much to my life, to my growth, to my transition, you and Joe. And so like I say, you take stuff for granted. You really do. So I really appreciate you I love people who continue to push me to be great. I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
It's just an awesome part. When you say family, it is the truth
Yes.
because it's the people that mean the most to you when you're growing at the pace that you are, that you can really accomplish and feel like, hey, we're changing the world together.
We are.
One person at a time.
Yes.
Right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Any last words for our audience that you want to tell them about their own personal growth? If they're stuck,
Got you.
if they're afraid, if they've failed, let's tell them.
You only get one life to live, right? So why not live it being the best version of you? And if you don't know how that looks, you don't know how that happens, first of all, you have Melanie Ake, the young lady who helped change my life 5 years ago just by simply being the best version of her. So I would encourage you to reach out to her first. But if you need someone else, I'm here, Sam Wright. You can reach me at SamuelWrightJr.com. You can reach me on Facebook, LinkedIn. It's all the same, Samuel Wright Jr. I would love to connect with you, love to help you in whatever way I can, but you have none better than this young lady who helped change my life, Coach Melanie Ake, everyday leader. She is truly that, and I adore her and her husband, and they mean the world to me. So let's make the effort and make the attempt every day to be the best version of us. Desires everything. Die.
Desire is everything. Will you come back?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
I would not miss this opportunity again. Trust me.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we'll be doing stuff together, so I want
We
people to
will.
stay tuned because it's going to be some fun stuff happening in
Yes.
2024.
Yes.
My
let's make it
motto is
happen.
be more in 2024.
Yes.
So here we go.
Love it.
Here we go.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sam. And thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Everyday Business Leaders. I hope you were inspired to think and grow differently about your business or how to be involved in the community. Remember, Sam is doing amazing things. If you're ready to lean in and lead with love, connect to Sam. He is just awesome. Remember, the journey of growth and innovation, it never ends, and it's our mission to keep bringing you the best insights from our local community. Stay tuned for more episodes filled with wisdom, innovation, and inspiration. This is Melanie Ake signing off from JP the Geek Studio, where they say better IT service is just a call away. Own it, secure it, and protect it. Until next time, don't forget, subscribe to our channel and turn those notifications on so you never miss an episode. Everyday Leaders helps you to develop strategies to become a better leader in your life. And remember, it's not what you do in a day. It's what you do every day that makes the most impact. Thanks for following.